Hello, everyone. This is just something I wanted to talk about real quick. So I was thinking about it a little earlier. So I'm not. This is about One Piece and specifically the Water 7 arc and why I think it's, in my opinion, the most important arc so far in the series. Um, I have a lot to talk about on why I feel this way. This might be a part one. Uh, so first, now, by the way, it's been quite a while since I've read through the Water 7 arc, so excuse me if some of my details are a little off. Actually, wait 1 minute. So, if you either don't know or you just need to catch up a bit, like, I definitely do. I haven't read it for, like, 2 years. um, the Water 7 arc, that was the one where Frankie joined the crew, they got the Sunny, they burned the Marigo, and Luffy revealed Gear Second, Third, and the Lucci fight. That's a lot, okay? So that's much more than any other arc so far. You know, Luffy's Gear Second and Third, the Sunny, and a new addition to the crew. So that's already a lot, right, for one arc. So, like, in all the other arcs, the most that's happened is they got a new crewmate or made a promise to someone or something, okay? Because, so, I'm going to be talking about... Okay, I'm sorry, I repeat myself a lot. I get really off track. These aren't scripted. This is me just sitting down and talking. So, let's start out with probably the most simple thing I can think of. I mean, this might not be the most simple, but just... For me, I think I could get through this part the easiest. The fights of the series. So, the fights... pretty important, okay? First, it introduced the cipher pulls, or the idea of them, right? Cipher pulls... it was about cipher pull 9, but the cipher pulls do become... Especially cipher pull 0 become talked about much later in the series. Pretty important. So, the cipher pulls and the 6 powers. So, the 6 powers, let's see if I can remember them all. Wait. Oh, okay. It was Shave, which is, if you've read through it, you'll know why that one's the most important. It's the one that makes... It's, instant transmission, okay? That's the best I can explain it. Okay, anyway. Well, obviously, no, probably not as good. Tempest Kick, which I guess just makes you kick really hard. The next one was Paper. It was Paper something. Oh my god. What's the name? You guys know what I'm talking about. It's the one that makes your body really flat. Then Airwalk, which makes you walk on air. Once again, you guys, it's been Iron Body, the one that makes your body really hard so that you can take a lot of hits. And then the last one was, it's been so long, Finger Pistol. So it just, I don't know, lets you stab people with your finger. I can't even begin to think of an explanation for that. Now, the explanation for Iron Body, Finger Pistol, and Tempest Kick now would be just hockey, but obviously that was not the case. Okay. Sorry, I just got a text message. So I've said it would not be the case, and the 6 powers, or I guess one of the 6 powers, Shave, and I guess Airwalk. Sanji used that in a later fight. Those are the only ones that are really important. The others didn't really, I don't think have really come up. Or if they did, they obviously weren't important enough for me to remember them. So, that's one thing. Frankie is also important because, well, he's a new crewmate, okay? He joined the crew. So, obviously, with Frankie came a very sad backstory. As usual, with a new character who gets close to Luffy. Frankie is important because he's a new crew member, and he also built the 1000 Sunny, which is the ship that replaced the Going Merry because it couldn't sail anymore. Now, the thing with the Going Merry was that, they didn't have a way. The reason and the whole reason that they had to get rid of it was because it was not doing too well. Okay, just full of cracks and holes and stuff, just damage. It was messed up, and before then, all they would really do to fix them was just nail a piece of wood over it. Because, well, there were two reasons actually. First, they didn't know what else to do, and second, because that was just all the supplies they had to work with, nails and wood and I don't know, glue or whatever, and they didn't know what else to do for it. So the boat was in terrible shape, and they were gonna have to get a new one, which was a very important, and I think the main, if I remember correctly, that was like the reason they went to Skypiea. I'm sorry, Water 7. I always get those two mixed up because the Water 7 mark on the books is light blue, and then the Skypiea one is purple, and I guess those two colors just get mixed in my minds. I'm sorry. I gotta take this hat off. I want to lay back. So that those are two important parts. Once again, Frankie, the new boat, and also another thing was. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm getting sidetracked again. The fights are what I was talking about. They introduced the 6 powers, which came back later, and Gear 2nd and 3rd. Gear 2nd, Luffy speeds up his blood so that he can move faster. Not certain how it works, but it does. And Gear 3rd, he makes his... Oh my god, I'm covering the camera. I'm sorry. He makes his bones larger so he can punch harder. Okay? He used Gear 2nd... Sorry, he used Gear 2nd against both of them, but he first used Gear 2nd against Bluno, and then he used Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd against Rob Lucci. So those two fights, specifically, are very important for introducing those. Gear 2nd and 3rd, which eventually evolved into Gear 4th, which he uses against Doflamingo in the Dressrosa arc. Next, we're going to talk about... So those are where the fights are important. Wait, no, there's one more. One more I gotta talk about. It slipped my mind. That was when Luffy fought Usopp in the beginning. So, reading the manga, and, them talking about that, I was thinking Luffy versus Usopp. What a contest. And I think most everyone shares this opinion with me, or did, whenever it was, there. Luffy versus Usopp. What a competition. Slingshot, ooh, spooky, versus Luffy. I mean, what else am I supposed to think? But then, very surprisingly, Usopp won, and I really like that fight. It was neat, and that fight was very important because it made Usopp later whenever he realized that his mistake, and that he still that's what. After that fight, later he realized he made a mistake, and that he still needs to be part of the crew because he still needs Luffy. He needs to be there with them, which is why he came back as Sniper King. Sorry, the stupid wanted poster. It says Soj King. What does that even mean? When did they ever say it? I swear these wanted posters are there's something weird about them. None of the pictures... the pictures are right, but, none of... Well, sorry. Brooks is not right. And I don't think Robbins is either. And, they don't align with the proper bounties. Frankie, he has his old picture for one of his new bounties. It's I don't like these. The pictures and bounties are just not right. Luffy is fine, I think. Yeah, I think this is the only one that's, good. They're weird. Anyway, so, he comes back later, realizing it's a mistake, to team up with them to go save Robin. So, I think I mentioned this earlier, but if I didn't, I'll mention it again. In Water 7, there were 2 of the most iconic scenes in the series, and this one, the one I'm about to talk about, was whenever they went to go rescue Robin, because, they Cypher Pole 9 knew that he was going to come try to save Robin, so they sent Bluno after him. Uh, Obviously, Luffy beat Bluno, and then Spandam, sorry, saw that, oh, he just beat Bluno, this is bad. And then, all of the crew lined up, well, all of the crew and Frankie, because he hadn't joined yet, lined up on the wall and then what I just call simply the "I want you to tell me you want to live" speech to Robin, and that's why. And now keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Whenever Robin joined when she joined the crew, she just appeared there and said, "Hey, I want to join." And obviously, some of them were pretty skeptical, specifically Nami, Zolo, and Sanji, and for like 10 seconds before he kind of just lost it, Usopp. The others were just fine with it, but those three, were very suspicious. The others were just... they're just really immature. I feel like Nami is like the only one at the time who has really had a good head on her shoulders. I mean, Sanji only whenever he wasn't, looking at a girl, and Zolo only when he wasn't eating or drinking with alcohol, which is, never. Anyway, they were all very suspicious, and for good reason. Like, the 20 hours ago, she was our enemy. She was trying to kill us. She was with the people who were trying to kill us. So, they had very good reason to be skeptical, but Luffy's oh, no, it's fine. Let me on. And, Robin definitely realized that they would be suspicious and had good reason to be suspicious. So she also probably felt that they have she felt that they had no reason to trust her because, well, they didn't. So for Luffy to allow her on to the crew, she probably felt, oh, he's probably just saying that, but he's going to keep a close eye on me. And then whenever they go to rescue her, when they're all lined up, and all of them, okay? Even Zolo, Sanji, and Nami, who were the ones who did not want her to join them, even they were there coming to save her. When Robin saw that, that they do care, they do trust her, all of them, without a doubt, trust her and want her to be with them, with their crew, that probably, just clicked in her mind that, hey, these guys are... That I feel like that's the point that just made her become completely loyal to Luffy. And, because, I mean, once again, she didn't think they were going to. Going to come help her. She probably thought that they were just going to leave her, like, most everyone else in her life. But then they did come to save her, which is definitely what made her feel much more loyal to Luffy, which is why I don't think she's ever going to fight him. You know how, most of the others have, well, by others I mean Zolo. I don't know, does that even count? Zolo wasn't fighting him because he was angry, he was fighting him because he wanted him to calm down, so I guess that one doesn't count. But they did fight. Zolo, Usopp, and Sanji. They all fought. Oh, well, Sanji's was after the Water 7 arc, obviously. That he was in the most recent one. And so that's why I feel that she's not going to fight him, and also why I don't think Nami and Luffy are going to fight, because, well, she's also probably the most... I'd have to say that Nami and Zolo, I feel, are like the... Obviously, they're all loyal to Luffy, but Nami and Zolo, I feel, are the most, because, well, Luffy, when he took Zolo off of the cross, he, well, saved his life, and whenever Luffy saved Nami, the circumstances under which he saved Nami from Arlong were quite, I guess, kind of similar to Robin's, in the sense that Nami felt that Luffy didn't have any reason to. And once again, Luffy didn't have any reason to, because she joined the crew just so that she could steal his treasure and his ship. Well, most importantly, his treasure. And she would probably sell the ship, because she needed money so that she could repay the debt, not the debt, but so that she could buy back her town from Arlong. She did it because not because she wanted the money for herself, but she wanted it for the village. And for Luffy to see that and still want to help her, because, whenever she stole the stuff, he didn't know why, because he was still on the Verity. But whenever they went to Arlong, and Nami was begging him for help after Arlong increased the debt, and Luffy's like, okay, and he went and beat up Arlong for her because, once again, he didn't have a reason to, but besides the fact that she's my crewmate. So because of that, Nami probably has the most respect and loyalty toward Luffy because of that arc where he, just rescued her town for her, rescued it from Arlong. Which is why I don't think she's ever going to fight him either. Next so I've already talked about the fights, already talked about Cypher Pull and why, and for a character standpoint, some of them. Okay, so now let's talk about Frankie. Frankie did not have a reason to leave. Because, he was already happy with his family. Well, sorry, you know what, there's family. And because of, he already had a nice job, right? Making ships. Probably made him a lot of money because it's the age of pirates. So if you make pirate ships, you're going to have a lot of customers. A lot of customers means a lot of money. So he was already doing pretty well there at Water 7. Yet, I don't quite remember what his reason was, but once again, it's been a while, so you guys can fact check me or whatever. But maybe he just saw that, hey, Luffy is good. I'm sorry, you guys. It's been too long. I don't remember the details. I don't remember why he left decided to leave with them. I remember it was something about his family. Didn't they try to whenever he said that he didn't want to? Didn't they just push him to go with them because they thought that it would be good for him or whatever? I don't recall.